Hello, welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to impart a few extra words of wisdom. And this one again, it relates to superannuation, which is Australia's pension, future pension scheme, which takes 12% of your income each week or fortnight, however you get paid, and then it puts it away towards your retirement, and it's only accessible once you meet certain criteria, typically in your 60s. So recent information came from the Association of Super Funds of Australia, and they have said a single person, if they wanted to retire today comfortably at the age of 67, being a homeowner, as in their house that they live in is fully paid off, they would need to retire with a balance of $630,000. Now that figure has changed from the last 3 years, from 595,000 to 630,000. That is a significant increase of $35,000, and the reason for that is that cost of living has risen substantially in the last 3 years, where pension and living costs have not been able to cover that increase in cost, therefore relying more on superannuation to continue the lifestyle or comfortable lifestyle that someone wants to retire on. For a couple, however, if you wanted to retire today owning your own home, you would need $730,000 in super. So letting that sit there, $730,000 in super. So if you're like me and you're in your 30s, 20s, 40s, whatever you might be in, and you're thinking, so right, I need to get to, if I want to be conservative here, even if I was married or had a boyfriend, you want to be able to know that you can retire comfortably on your own and not rely on the couple statistic, which is obviously a very different statistic. If you're single, you need $630,000. If you're a couple, you need $730,000. So yes, there is a big pressure if you're single to be able to maintain your lifestyle well and truly after you've retired. So if you're sitting here wondering what you need to be able to put away so that you get to a number that you're comfortable at, I think one thing that you should understand is that the statistic of retiring today is not the statistic that you'll be retiring in 30, 40 years, 20 years. Cost of living will only increase. Scarcity of resources will increase. There'll be a limited supply of additional factors. So if you're thinking, right, I just need to get to 630,000, don't look at any other literature and just aim towards that number. Think again. I would conservatively, if you've got 30 years left, I'd be looking at a mil. And that changes for everything. And I'd be looking into what they consider comfortable is. Is comfortable going to the movies once a month? Is it going on a domestic holiday once a year? And an international holiday every 7 years? You really need to be careful with what you expect of your retirement years and what is comfortable. For me personally, how I get comfortable with a range of targets, I don't know where I'm going to end up, is for me, I personally like to think of my career or my work as something that isn't going to end when I'm 67. There will be no pension. We're not going to have riots on the street, so no politician is going to say, folks, thank you for paying taxes for retiring Australians in their 60s and 70s and 80s, but you're not actually going to have a pension. No one's going to tell you that, but I'm telling you that. So try and be realistic, live a good life, but also understand that you will be on your own later in life, and that is the whole purpose of super. So if you are someone who's thinking, oh well, once I retire I'll just use my super balance to pay off my house and then I'll rely on the pension, that will likely not be the case. So do yourself a favor and start looking at, for my age, is my super balance typical or expected, or what is the general range that I would need to retire properly? So at age 30, currently they say 66,500 is what would be expected. At 40, $168,000. At 50, $296,000. So if you're either below or above, I wouldn't fret too much. You've still got time, and you can make lifestyle adjustments now to be able to get there later. I'll do a separate video on tips and tricks to be able to put away a bit extra or in the most tax efficient way. However, what I would say is just knowing the numbers really helps with that information. It's not every day that we think about our super and what we need to retire and how we want to live, but it's obviously important if you're living a very good life now, and that's all basically on you're not, owning a house, you're renting, and you're still making all those Amazon purchases. You might not even be able to afford food past retirement, past 60, or you'll be working into your 80s. So choose a life that you want for a long life. Obviously, hopefully we all last as long as possible in the most healthy manner. I'm not saying live a shit life while you're alive and healthy and active, but living a life of purpose and meaning and not shopping to consumption is obviously very important. One of the great changes that the government has recently made is superannuation paid on paternity leave. So that's paternity and maternity, so parental leave. And that's great because people who have typically taken time off, they've been able to get the minimum government amount, but then they haven't been having anything contributing to their superannuation, which obviously, as we know, pay gap super, where women typically retire with a lot less money than men, and that's why we're seeing a lot more homelessness in women in the later years, because they haven't been contributing towards their super. They might have been a stay-at-home parent and perhaps went through a divorce, or different circumstances for different people.